SBTN xin kính chào quý vị. Hi, Victoria. I'm here at the Directors Guild in Hollywood for the premiere of Sully, and it stars the Academy Award-winning Mr. Tom Hanks. I can't wait to see who else shows up. So let's not waste any more time and hit this black carpet. Do you remember when the Hudson crash happened?
I sure do. Yeah, I was watching it on the news, and those images of everyone on the plane is ingrained in my mind, especially now.
And how does it feel to be a part of a film that's remade, that was true life, by Clint Eastwood?
I'm so lucky. I mean, it's a dream come true, and it was such an inspiring story, I think, of humanity, really. I mean, it's like when I watch it on the news, everyone just looks so calm and relaxed on the wings, waiting to be rescued. Like, all right, we landed. Like, I'll just hang out and chill on the plane wings. But you realize, like, how terrifying it was that they had just gone through this crazy landing. There's water rushing up. You don't know if you're going to drown. People are, are you injured? Is it going to explode? Are you going to freeze to death? I mean, there was a lot going on, and everyone just acted together and stayed calm and helped each other out and put themselves in harm's way to protect strangers. And then to get to recreate that story with the best in the business who just know movie magic to recreate it. I mean, it was so incredible, and I learned so much, and they're all just so humble and modest, but they're living legends. It's amazing.
How excited were you when Clint called you?
Very excited, but very not really knowing what was happening, because he didn't tell us exactly straight. He said, "Oh, could you come to the studio? I want to show you something." And what happened is we arrived, and there was a screening. Tierney and I arrived, and there was a screening with many producers here and things like that. And we sit down and watch the movie as it was. And in the temp music, he had inserted some tracks of my latest CD, and then of Tierney singing by herself. We were watching the screen and then improvising, and so getting some cues that were based on how we felt right away seeing the movie for the first time.
So I play a young mom who's on the plane with her 1-year-old baby.
Did you get to work with Tom Hanks at all?
A little bit, yeah, only a little bit. Only a little bit.
How was working with Clint Eastwood, though?
Clint was amazing. He was so calm. His directing style is so calm. It made me feel really confident.
How did you prepare for this role?
Well, I read the book, although that didn't tell me very much, and then I talked to the man himself. And it's always difficult because you got to meet somebody that you're going to play. I've done that on a number of occasions, and you have to say, "Look, Sully, I'm going to say things you never said, and I'm going to do things you never did, and things are going to happen out of sequence and, faster than they should have. But despite all that, I'd like it to be as real as possible. Can you help a guy out?" And he is, I think maybe because he's an aviator, he was very, very particular about all the elements of the script that he had a problem with, whether it was with me or with the script itself. And we worked it all through, and I said, okay, rather than this piece of nonsense that's not real, tell me what was real. And it's amazing. A screenplay is a very malleable thing. You can shape it and you can change it. And the boss, Clint Eastwood, he was willing to say, like, he was willing to get the nomenclature down correctly. He was willing to get the order of things down correctly. But he was also willing to get the behavior down. And look, there's some filmmakers that ain't into that. And I guess maybe I was one of the first guys who had to say to Sully, I've never worked with him before, Sully, but I think Clint will be amenable to, trying to get to the truth here. So we just try to get to the truth.
What's the scariest plane ride you've been on?
I've never been on a scary plane ride. I love them bumpy. I love them jumping around. I love landing in big old storms. Because here's what I know. The men and the women who are up there on the flight deck are not going to try it unless they know they can stick it. That's what I say. They'll get us down. Aren't you? Oh no, we're bumping. They know what they're doing. Just sit back and relax.
Working with Mr. Clintwood?
Clintwood? Oh, that's what I'm going to start calling him. Old Clintwood. I used to live in an apartment called the Clintwood. I lived in apartment 8B at the Clintwood, Building H. He's so oddly, definitely the man. The thing about the movie is everybody on the crew has made a ton of movies with him. So Aaron and I would get to the set we try to get to the set at least a half hour before the band arrived, because we could get on the plane or, be in the LaGuardia and say, what's the scoop? Where do you think we're going to be? And Campy, his operator, or his the first AD, or Tom, who was the cinematographer, he'd say, well, he's probably going to carry you in here and move you around in here and probably make it. But who knows what the boss wants? He might just have it. He might just make you do the whole thing in one, and who knows what. So they are ready for when the guy shows up, and that translated to us, the actors, as well.
What influenced you to create this film?
Just a story, a good story, and it's a very American story, and it has it leaves a nice feeling, which is good at this particular time in history.
Why did you choose Tom Hanks to be?
Because he's a good actor, and he's very much like Sully, very quiet, soft-spoken guy.
How did you get into character as her? Just by looking at pictures?
I just truthfully played how I thought a person would be in the situation. And it may not have been exactly what Diane did, but it's the truth of somebody in that situation,
Yeah.
So I didn't meet her. I hope I do her justice in this. That picture of her, the photograph of her after the rescue, she just had a sweetness about her, and in the middle of all that, wrapped in her Red Cross blanket with a cup of coffee, and she just has a smile on her face.
Kính thưa quý vị, make sure you check out Sully when it hits theaters September 9th and find out what really happened on that Hudson flight. This is Christine Antha for Hollywood First Look Features. I'll see you guys next time. Kính chào quý vị.